Hi everyone, this is Olabode. That's my name, and this is Dreams of the Heart TV. Please push the red button to subscribe and connect with me so I can keep on motivating, challenging, and encouraging you to live out the dreams in your heart. Guess what? Do you know you are the apple of God's eye? Yes, you are. The Bible says that you are the apple of His eye, which means you're really special to Him. Today, I just want to talk about God celebrating you, and so it's time to celebrate yourself. You need to take out time to celebrate yourself. Do you know a lot of us take time to celebrate people? We celebrate our spouses, we celebrate our children, we celebrate our co-workers, but a lot of time we forget to celebrate us. I forget to celebrate me, you forget to celebrate you, we forget to celebrate ourselves. You know, you are so special. The Bible says that you are wonderfully and fearfully made. So you are one of a kind, you're special. The interesting thing is that nobody else even has your fingerprints all over the world, just you. That is how special you are. So if you're special, why not take out time to celebrate who you are? Why not take out time to celebrate who God has made you to be? So today I just want to share a little bit about that. You know, I was reading a little bit last year. I was looking at the celebrities. A lot of people celebrate celebrities. That's even what the word is, celebrities. But do you know last year alone, 63 celebrities died, and out of those 9 celebrities, out of that 63 that died, 9 of them died of suicide. So even when people outside were celebrating them, they weren't even really celebrating themselves. A lot of them were, I was researching, a lot of them were found hung in their rooms. One of them died of carbon monoxide poisoning, but it was suicide for 9 of them. If they had taken time to celebrate who they were, regardless of what the world says they are, regardless of the fame and the money and everything, we need to take our time to celebrate ourselves. It's so important. I was just reading, statistics said that in the year 2012, there were 3,926 suicides in Canada. And they said today, like every day, at least approximately 11 people will end their life in a suicide, and 210 other people will attempt to take their lives by suicide. Can you imagine how high that number is? And I found that one of the ways people get suicidal is by getting depressed. When people get depressed, depression just means that you lose your joy. When you get depressed, when you feel like the world is against you, you feel just locked up in this place that nobody else can reach you. When you get to that stage, there's some things that you need to do. You must never allow yourself to get to a place whereby you feel locked up, whereby the enemy lies to you and says you're not worth anything, you're of no value to anyone, no one celebrates you. You need to say, no, I am wonderfully and fearfully made. I'm going to choose to celebrate myself. And another thing, one of the things that I said, you have to develop a purpose for living, because when you have a purpose for living, really you will take out time to celebrate yourself. So I was just going to talk about the reason how we can celebrate ourselves really today. And I wrote that have you lost your joy due to one reason or the other? Maybe you got depressed because you lost a baby and you had been wishing so much. Maybe you got depressed because you lost your job and there's just no way out. You got depressed because you're in this hole that you feel like there's no way out. You got depressed because your whole family is against you for one reason or the other. There are so many reasons to get depressed, but there are ways that one can come out of depression. And one of the ways of coming out of depression is by plugging into God. That is one big way. When you plug into God, it means that you just say, God, I don't know how to get out of this, but I'm asking you to help me to get out of this mess. You're in a place that you just feel that you can't get out by yourself. That's when you need to run to Him and say, God, I need you to help me. You just want to run to Him. That's one way. The Bible says that the joy of the Lord is our strength. When you're joyful, you have strength. You don't realize it. When you lose your joy, you're so tired, you're so weak, you feel like you can't help yourself. Another way, apart from plugging into God, another thing that stems from plugging into God is choosing to be joyful. A lot of time when you look around you, if you just take a moment and just look around you, you will see that you have a reason to be joyful. Sometimes you think that you see a man that has no shoes, and he might not have any joy until he sees someone that has no feet. Then he begins to say, oh, I just thank God because at least I have feet even if I don't have shoes. So when we choose to be joyful, when we choose to say, you know what, regardless of what situation I'm going through, I might have a terminal sickness, I might be going through depression, I might be going through so much, but I'm going to choose to ask God to help me to come out of this. I'm going to choose joy. I'm going to ask God to help me to be joyful. That's another way you can turn things around. Another way you can celebrate yourself is, you know, if you have any issues that you need to deal with, you need to just confront them. Issues like unforgiveness. A lot of time they cause us to just be in a place that we feel like we can't handle it. If you need to get help of any type, you need to not get locked. Don't lock it up in you. You need to get help. You need to deal with unforgiveness. If it's bitterness against people, against yourself, sometimes we don't forgive ourselves for the things that we've done to ourselves in time past, and we just can't get over it. We're like, fine, God has gotten over it. He said, I've forgiven you for what you've done, but you find it so hard. So you have to choose and say, you know what? I might have done that in the past, but I'm going to say to myself, I forgive myself. I want to get over it. I want to share the story of a lady that I watched her story online. Her name is Lisa Nichols. A lot of you would know her. She's a motivational speaker. But I was listening to the story of Lisa Nichols. She was a lady that growing up, she never thought she could be someone that could be in an abusive relationship, but she found herself in that abusive relationship. And she said she got to this place whereby she was just depressed. She was so down. She felt depressed. She was so depressed that after she came out of that abusive relationship, her doctor said to her, you are clinically depressed. You are the lowest of lows. And she said the doctor was going to prescribe Prozac to her to get rid of that depression. And she felt like, she said that when the doctor told her that, she felt the greatest level of sadness ever. She didn't know she could ever feel like that. She said, but what she did was, she asked her doctor to give her 30 days to discover herself again. She said because it seemed that she had forgotten who she was. She had forgotten. She had become somebody's mom. She had become somebody's wife. She had become somebody's daughter. But she forgot who God had made her to be. She said she did 3 things. Those things are some of the things that I want to talk about. She put affirmations in those 30 days. She just said, give me 30 days. If after 30 days I come back and you still feel like I need medication, I will take it. She said in those 30 days, she put affirmations all around her house saying, Lisa, you are wonderful. You are great. You are fearfully and wonderfully. She put scriptures all around her to affirm her of who she was, so that she would know who she was. Because she had forgotten who she was, she needed to discover herself again. She read scriptures throughout these 30 days. Also, another thing that she did was she spoke forgiveness to herself. She cut off every shackle of anger and bitterness. She spoke forgiveness in areas that she had been, she had felt like she had made mistakes, and she felt so maybe she couldn't forgive her. She said, you know what, Lisa, I forgive you. So sometimes we need to come to a place where we say, I've made mistakes, but I forgive myself for making those mistakes. And she said another thing that she did was she made 7 commitments to herself for those 30 days. She said the most interesting thing was that when she went back to the doctor after 30 days, she was described as clinically depressed. The doctors began to ask her questions. She said she asked her question after question after question. And at the end of the day, she asked her, Lisa, what did you do in these 30 days? Because there has been like a 360-degree turnaround. That was because she said her life had changed. That was because she had now taken time to discover herself. She knew who she was in God. She knew that she was fearfully and wonderfully made. She knew that she was the apple of God's eye. She knew who she was. She chose, to discover herself again, and she chose to love herself. So you might be at that place whereby you've forgotten who you are. You've become somebody's mom. You've become somebody's child. You become somebody's wife. But who exactly are you? I choose to say to you today, you are wonderfully and fearfully made, and you need to take time to discover you. And another way you can discover you and celebrate you is Take time out to enjoy yourself. Give yourself a treat if you need to. If you have a spouse, leave the kids with your spouse for a day and just go and have fun. You can go to the mall, go on a shopping trip. You can go to the spa, have a day out at the spa all by yourself. Just distress. You just need to distress to discover who you are. Enjoy yourself. Take time to enjoy yourself. And as you plug into God and you say, you know what, I want to discover who I am. Discover yourself again. God will begin to bring joy back into your life, and you will rediscover who you are, and then you're ready to start living your dreams. Lisa Nichols today is motivating people all over the world, but because she took time out to discover who she was, and she found who she was in God and found out who she was by discovering herself. Have a great week. This week, my homework is to go and discover yourself again. Do things that you haven't done in a while and take time out for yourself. Have a great week ahead. See you next week.